This is 2015. And for full transparency, let's look up Steph Curry. So Steph Curry, I believe he was about like 24 and 8 of that nature. Now, here's the thing with LeBron. Where I'm going to say what hurts LeBron in this whole situation.
And
the
this
Cleveland,
is when he went back to.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Cleveland Cavaliers did not have. First of all, the Warriors had the best record in the NBA. They had the best record in the NBA that year. The Cavs did not. The Hawks had a better record, and I believe that year LeBron took time off. He took a break. He took a sabbatical. I believe he was. Because, you know, it was during the regular season. There was a stretch where he took like 10, 15 games. I think he was hanging out with Dwayne Wade and people were like, what's going on? I believe that was that year in 2015. So LeBron did that. Obviously, they finished as the 2 seed and they go on to the finals. I don't think you can make an argument for LeBron based off of that. Now, I think you could maybe make an argument that maybe Steph Curry shouldn't have been the one to get the award. But I don't think you can say LeBron James should have gotten it.
To my knowledge, when LeBron James, and obviously you're forcing me to think back, and to the best of my knowledge, I recall LeBron James, when he was playing at a higher level. He missed more games than Steph Curry did, that's true. And he did finish up as the 2. But the point that I'm trying to make is the whole reason that they were even the 2 seed or even in the playoffs to begin with was because LeBron James was there. Let's be clear. LeBron James was leaving Miami. He comes back. As soon as he comes back, they're in the finals. And if you say, okay, no, don't factor in what happened in the playoffs, all right, that's fine. Let's talk about when he just came back. He had them as the 2 seed. And while he had to take time off. And he put them in that position. And an argument could easily be made that if he did not take time off, they would have finished as the 1.
But that didn't happen.
And the year before LeBron had got there, where were they? Where was this Miami or this Cleveland Cavaliers team? Picking number 1 in the draft.
But they also didn't have Kevin Love.
But again, they were picking. Okay, do you think they would be picking number 1 in the draft if they had Kevin Love and not LeBron James?
If they have Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving,
they're not a playoff team. They weren't a playoff team with Kyrie Irving. Kevin Love's the guy who puts them over the top.
Kevin Love was averaging 26 and 15.
Absolutely not. Because when Kevin, don't get it twisted. When Kevin Love came to Cleveland, he was never the same player. So he didn't even really fit well with Cleveland.
That's because he was the 3rd option. But even though that's
even if it was the 2, he's been the 1st option in Cleveland.
He's no than that. But that's besides the point. I don't want to get into that. That's besides the point. That's besides the point. What I'm saying is, Steph, I want to say that, the Warriors, they brought back the same team. They jumped up a level. They went from being, I believe, the 5th seed.
They've had that team together for a significant period of time. LeBron James jumped right back into Cleveland out of base and then got that team.
So is it not, if you were the 5th seed in the West and you lose in the first round, and from that you go on to, with the exact same team, you guys jump up another level and you are now the best record in the NBA by far?
That is not as impressive as taking a team that was literally the worst team in basketball jumping.
They weren't the worst team in basketball. They just had the lottery. They just won the lottery.
Historically, the worst team in basketball, and then you jump back into that situation after you just came from the finals, and then you take that team all the way to the number 2 seed. Yes, that shows how valuable you are.
What is more impressive?
There would be an absolute abomination in the NBA if you weren't there, LeBron.
What is the worst? Is having the best record in the NBA not impressive to you?
I think that is. But how are we going to do this? If you have the best, so let me get this straight. If you have the best record, that automatically means you should win MVP.
Well, okay, Silas.
If that's where we're going with this. But I don't think you believe that.
Well, Silas, let me ask you this. Who won the MVP last year? Giannis, right?
So I'm asking you, though, because we're going off of what you think. Do you think that the team that has the best record should also, whoever was the best player on that team, should win MVP?
Not every year, but I would.
Exactly. Because why? Then you would end up with a person like Donovan Mitchell winning MVP. And I will be dipped in crap before Donovan Mitchell wins an MVP.
No.
The day the MVP does not matter anymore is the day Donovan Mitchell was in it.
What I'm saying is, usually
Donovan Mitchell sucks.
Usually, that's disrespectful. Silas was joking, everybody. What I'm saying is, usually, the best play, it's the best player on the best team. Usually, it's the best player on the best team.
But define best team, because the best team doesn't mean, or best record doesn't define best team, does it? Is that what we're saying? If that's what we're saying, then there's no need to have this argument any further. If that's what we're saying, because LeBron James historically did not have the best record in the NBA, but however, in spite of that, he has been to more finals than anybody in this
Well, I'm saying for
generation. So
that,
what does that matter?
I'm saying for that year.
All right. I disagree with
LeBron's
you.
numbers also dipped that year a little bit. I will say his numbers also dipped a little bit that year.
I would disagree with you personally. Sure, we can go through the numbers, and I'm not. But whether LeBron averaged 27 or whether he averaged 25, the fact remains that LeBron. And by the way, Kyrie Irving was shooting just as much as he was damn near. So like, I'm not really concerned about that. The point that I'm trying to make is, even if LeBron James' numbers dipped a little bit, the point remains that this man was able to get this team that was in lobotomy to the number 2 seed in the East. That to me is worthy of MVP consideration because of the team he was playing for.
But he did get MVP consideration, Silas.
Or the fact that he did not win MVP given the circumstance that he was in. Like, you also have to take the circumstance into account when you vote for MVP, I would think.
No, I'm saying you have to take it into account, but I'm saying that can't be the end all be all. As I have
I don't think the record can be.
Well, okay, Silas. Here's I'm gonna give you the name the records. LeBron James' team was 53-29. Steph Curry's team was 67-15. That is a huge gap. That is a huge gap. And the West is tougher. That's a huge gap. That's a huge gap. So by far, the better record.
Because they had the better team. They had the better team.
Okay, Klay Thompson
or maybe not. Let's not say the better team. Let me rephrase that. I guess you could say the better team, right? Because everybody says that Steph Curry beat LeBron in the finals, right? So they did have the better team. But let's go off of this. Let's go off of what LeBron was working with, and let's go off of the fact that was their first time together. By the way, that coach that they had wasn't even there the next year.
Neither was Steve Kerr.
Right? Okay. Now, what?
Neither was Steve Kerr. Mark Jackson was there the year before in Golden State. We're talking
You
about...
and me both. Right. But here's the difference. Steve Kerr was a blessing. David Black was a cancer.
Okay, well...
Was a cancer. And this is where coaching really does matter. Because you don't just go from like how, middle of the road to then getting Steve Kerr and then going 67, and then the year after that going 73. I'm sorry. Yes, coaching had a lot to do with that. And I think that he brought out and developed that team into what they became. And I think everybody would give credit to Steve Kerr for that. But if you're just talking about Steph Curry specifically, he gave the keys to Steph Curry, which was great. But that team was already very solid as a 6C, 5C team. The Cleveland Cavaliers were in nobody's top 10, and the only top 10 they were in was picking in the lottery. And LeBron James went to that team. Sorry, we didn't have as good as a record as Steph Curry, but let me ask you a question. If Steph Curry was on the Cleveland Cavaliers and the roles were reversed, are they getting to the playoffs? Absolutely not.
Okay, so if Steph Curry's playing with Kyrie and Kevin Love, yes, they're getting to the playoffs.
I disagree emphatically. I disagree completely. What type of defense do you have? What type of backcourt is that? What type of backcourt is that? What type of backcourt is that? What type of backcourt is that?
Silas, you don't believe
Kevin Love can't guard a parked car. Steph Curry can't guard a fire hydrant. And Kyrie Irving said himself he couldn't guard a broomstick.